Next up, the Scarmardo family, who operate a thriving livestock dealer business just outside Caldwell, Texas.
The calves that we try to buy them where they're fresh every day. We get them bought. The cattle, we don't normally have much sickness problems in the cattle because we just keep them such a short period of time. We try to buy good, healthy, fresh calves when we buy them. We get them in here, we keep them on plenty of good fresh water, plenty of fresh feed and hay, and then try to get them moved out of here as quickly as possible.
Pete Scarmardo is a livestock dealer located in the heart of Central Texas cattle country. 6 days a week, Pete and his crew are combing 75 to 80 auctions and purchasing cattle that fit a wide range of orders that his customers need.
We buy all classes of cattle. We buy a lot of really front-end cattle that go up north that fit into some of the programs there, cattle that are sold on grids nowadays or whatever. And then we buy a lot of price cattle for some of our other customers that are more worried about what cattle cost up front, maybe more so than kind.
Scarmardo Cattle Company is located just outside Caldwell, Texas. Northwest of Houston, this country is abundant with coastal Bermuda pasture, water, and cattle. The workday at Scarmardo Cattle Company begins early. Trucks arrive with the previous day's purchases. The crew receives the cattle, weighs them, sorts them, and gets them on feed and water. Usually late in the evening or at night, cattle are loaded and shipped for morning arrival at the customer's chosen location. Pete is closely assisted by his son, Craig.
The minute the cattle are unloaded, depending on the time frame of when they get here, we take the cattle in. One of the managers looks at the cattle as we sort them. They're sorted according to the weight, size, quality of the animals, and to which orders they go into which pens. After that, the cattle are put on feed, hay, and water. Let them kind of just rest for a little bit. We process them if the customer's requested to process any of those cattle. We process them a little bit later in the day, give them a little time to rest, and then we put them back out on feed, hay, and water again until they're ready to be loaded that afternoon.
As a livestock dealer, Scarmardo Cattle Company takes in numerous orders from customers who want specific types of cattle for their specific operation. Pete and his staff then spread out and purchase those cattle needed to fit the orders.
We buy on a order-based business. We buy what the customer wants. We don't just have cattle together and say this is what we offer. When they put out the order, we work a broad enough area to buy exactly what the customers are looking for.
The trucking needs for the company require well-designed coordination. Not every sale fills a truck. Sometimes a truck makes a few pickups to fill the load. All this must be done in a timely manner to keep the cattle in good shape. Bruce Alford is the general manager and has worked with Pete for 20 years.
Our primary goal is to get what the customer wants. All the cattle come in every night. From the sales they're here, we try not to leave any cattle out at a sale barn overnight. They're brought in during the night, so when we get here first thing in the morning, the cattle are fresh, they're unloaded in these pens. They're waiting on us here. Delivering a healthy, reliable source of cattle to the customer is a big goal. I mean, a lot of people don't understand the order buying business, and anybody can go wave their hand and buy a set of calves at the sale, but is that animal what you're expecting to get when you get it to you?
Scarmardo Cattle Company is a hard-working family business that includes a large, loyal staff.
We have a good crew here. We have people that have been here a long time. Several people have been here for a very long time. One guy's been with Pete since he started. He's been here for over 30 years. I'm real proud of the people that we have working with us, and I think that really does help the service that we can give to our customers.
Pete, Craig, and staff are experienced at fitting cattle to their customers' needs.
This is a set of 450 weight heifers we put together. There's some front end heifers. We feel like they're good enough to go anywhere in the United States. These kind of heifers, when you get done feeding them, I think will have the kind of carcass traits that people expect out of a set of front end heifers. They'll have the grade and the yield that you'd expect out of some heifers like this with this kind of quality.
We want to show you all a different kind of cattle here. We don't just buy one of a certain kind of cattle. We buy lots of different types of cattle for whatever the customer wants. These cattle carry a good bit more ear because they're going to be summered here in a harsh, humidity in South Texas. The cattle will be summered here, then fed on up in the Texas Panhandle. But as you see, these cattle are carrying a good bit more here. He wants lots of age and condition, where the cattle will go on out and start hustling for him right away.
This is a set of little 400-pound heifers that we're buying for a customer in New Mexico. These cattle will be summered there. They're going to grass. These are not a set of just fancy #1 cattle, but they're good bone, good stretchy cattle that are not real fleshy. They'll go out there and they'll do those people a good job on their summer grass. Then they'll come back as a yearling this fall, and there'll be cattle that will sell at the top of the feeder heifer market, and will be cattle that can be fed in Texas or Kansas or Oklahoma or anywhere there.
In addition to purchasing the desired cattle, arranging for the trucking, and getting them on feed and water, Scarmardo Cattle Company often processes cattle per customer order.
This is one of our processing facilities. We custom process cattle per customer's request, from just shots to a complete processing with castrate and dehorn and branding, the whole deal. This facility was designed to flow as easy as it possibly can for the cattle, to keep them quiet and calm, and to get them in and out of here with their vaccines with as less stress as possible.
We feel very confident with the BI products. If a customer requests something else, we will get it. But if he just says, give me a modified live, then we use the BI product.
Right now we're using Express 5 with Pastorella and been getting good results out of it.
The office staff is continually busy handling accounts and meeting customer service needs. The trucking network is handled through an outside dispatcher. Aside from the livestock dealer business, Pete also ranches in Central Texas and has business interests in supplying cattle for cutting horse events.
Well, I think we're experienced enough with as long as we've been in the industry to be able to buy cattle that will fit a specific need.
I've enjoyed the cattle business through the years. It's been good to me. It's made a good living for me and my family, but I've made a lot of good friends in the business. I've enjoyed the business. It's still a business that we can do business on with just a handshake, and you know that it's going to be that way. I enjoy being outside doing what we do, and it just gives me a sense of pride to be able to be involved in that business and be able to make a living there and be able to have my family work with me and hopefully us be in the business for a long time to come.
Scarmardo Cattle Company is a busy place. It's an excellent operation that shows us a different side of our nation's diverse cattle industry.